So, as we were discussing, the model, McKinsey 7S model, this model is more about changes in shared value. Means how do you bring changes? First of all, you have to strategize the organizational plan for building and maintaining a competitive advantage. Means what is that you want to change? The next point is structure. This is how your company is organized, how the departments and teams are structured, including who reports to whom. Means the hierarchical structure, the organizational structure, the departmental structure needs to be defined in a particular manner so that there's a certain line of what is to be done by whom and who will exactly do it. Then obviously the system, the process has to be in place for the entire activities, the daily activities and procedures that staff has to follow. Shared values, these are the core values of the organization and reflects its general work ethics. They are called superordinate goals when the model was first developed. Style, this type of leadership adopted. So whether it is a transformational leadership, transactional leadership, democratic, autocratic, what type of leadership is being adopted by the organization. All these set the environment of the change. Staff, the employees and their general capabilities means who are the right people to be part of this change management. Skills, the actual skills and competencies of organizational employees. These 7S put together brings changes in the organization. Now it is totally dependent upon the person, the top management, which model they want to choose for their organization, because they are the best person, they're the best people to choose the model for their strategic change, because they know their organization very well. The next one is John Cotter's 8-step change model. Means there are 8 steps for any change to be managed in the organization. First of all, create urgency means again creation of the need. What is the need? What is the urgency? What has happened? Why change is required? Right? One has to say what is the reason behind changing. There has to be an environment, there has to be a problem. Suppose you are doing some sort of research, there has to be a problem statement. Without a problem statement, what you will do? You will not be able to conduct a research, right? So similarly, an urgency has to be there. An urgency has to be there to conduct the change. Form a powerful coalition, again, a powerful team building. Create a vision for change, means what is that you want to change. There has to be a certain vision to it. Communicate the vision. Everybody should know, like your family. If you want to bring any change in your family, you talk to each and every person. What is their thought process on the change? Similarly, a company and organization is a family. They should be communicated about the vision which top management is thinking, because they are the people who will support, and without their support, execution of change is not possible at all. So, communicate the vision. Remove obstacle, again any risk, any hindrance, any obstacle has to be identified and removed. That is step 5. Create short term wins, means small deliverables needs to be created. If then the small deliverables are not there, people will not be able to work with enthusiasm. The work will be more monotonous. I want you all to research on something, to search on something. There's something called Gantt chart. It's a chart for execution of any project, any process, any change in the organization, where all the tasks are identified with certain desired implementation dates. Create short-term wins, which is creation of short-term task objectives which you want to bring into the organization, the deliverables, the milestones. That depends upon the type of change, and obviously it has to be part of the entire change management process. Build on the change means execute, start working on the change now. Eighth and last but not the least, anchor the changes in corporate culture. Very important and very difficult thing to be achieved. Anchor the changes in corporate culture. It's like one string is this side, one string is that side, one string is other side. You have to bring in all of them together to make it a cable, make it an anchor. Similarly, if you want to bring any change into the corporate culture, it is very important to bring everybody in at the same platform. So this was John Cotter's 8-step change model. Next is Kubler's Ross 5 stage 5-stage change curve model. The model is typically applied to organizational change management activities and can be used across a range of different industries for this purpose. There are 5 stages, means they are trying to explore the person's natural response. Suppose somebody wants you to change something in yourself. The first response will be denial. I am perfect. I don't want to change myself, right? This is how it works everywhere, because an organization is also a set of individuals working for it. So what a single human will behave, the others also, or the entire organization will behave in a similar manner. If somebody asks for any certain change, people's first reaction is to deny. I will not. I am perfect. My organization is perfect. So denial is disbelief, looking for evidence that it isn't true. What you want to change, what flaw you have found out, or whatever is your vision, you are not true in it. There is an evidence showing or disbelief from the people that no, this is not required. Then comes the anger, surprise or shock at the event. Frustration, anger is another form of frustration. So recognize that things are different, sometimes angry. Then after that, what will come? Depression, low mood, lacking in energy, nobody wants to do anything. Experiment, initial engagement with new situation. Finally, decision and acceptance. Learning how to work in new situation, feeling more positive, means once the change is built into the organization, people slowly start taking it as a change. So here, what is happening? Freezing is happening. Okay. Then finally, change is integrated, a renewed individual acceptance. I accept the change. This is how it will be. Now people started working in a certain process. Which you wanted to change, they changed it for themselves, for their organization. Trotsky's 5 building blocks of awareness. This is another change model, also known as Edgar model. Any successful change begins with the answer to one of the most basic question about change. Why? Yes, very true. It is human nature to want to understand the reasoning behind an action or a required change. The first building block of Prosky-Edgar model, awareness, represents this thirst for understanding. The Edgar model is simple but effective model for individual change made up of 5 building blocks of change. First is awareness, second is desire, the third is knowledge, fourth is ability, and the fifth one is reinforcement. First one is awareness. Announce the change to the employees well ahead of the time. Explain your reasoning behind the change. Means why the change is required. Why you are thinking that this change is required. Explain your reasoning behind the change. Includes current pain points. What is that which is the reason or which is becoming the reason for the change? Potential ROI of a new solution means what and how it will be profitable for the organization. ROI means return on investment. So if you invest in the new change, what return it will give? Give employees an opportunity to ask questions and make suggestions. Obviously, as I said, there's always two-way communication these days. So top management, before they bring any changes as a part of their democratic leadership quality, they should bring a question answer session. They should give opportunity to their employees to ask questions so that they can be answered. With this, if the employees adapt the changes, if they are well communicated with at the time of the change, then adoption of new change become easier. Desire, gauge employees' reactions to the change. Identify champions. If the employees are resistant or indifferent, address their concerns or show them how change benefits them personally, how they will be rewarded. Next is knowledge. Provide training or coaching to show what employees need to do after a change takes place. Address any skill gaps. Means if there is any training or development required for the purpose, first of all, it has to be taught to everyone. Training should be given. Development activities should be conducted by HR department. And address any skill gaps. Offer resources such as flowcharts or user guide or user manual or process manual or standard operating of procedures so that they understand what is being brought as new into the organization. Ability. Schedule practice runs before the change is fully implemented. Means, these days a mock interview is conducted before the actual interview. This mock drill is there. Means practice runs before the change is made. You have to have it as a practice also. Monitor performance immediately following the change and provide constructive feedback. Set reasonable goals and metrics at the start. Adjust processes as necessary. Means it will always not happen that what you made or what changes you want to bring into the organization, they can be implemented as it is. Obviously, there may be some hiccups which cannot be foreseen, some barriers which could not be seen properly before. So in that case, it is important to modify the process of change. To modify the change itself means in case any small modifications are required, these practice runs will ensure that they come up during the trial runs. So the adjustment should be there before the proper or actual implementation. Last but not the least, reinforcement. Monitor the change over time to ensure it's fulfill your desired outcomes. Use positive feedback, rewards, and recognition to encourage employees to keep following the new process. give you a very simple example which you will be able to understand. With the technology, which was window based technology before of the phones, where the old phones will be, you have to click on the buttons and you can talk, and that's it. Now the new technology has come up, which is Android technology, wherein you can touch the screen, you can do what WhatsApp, you can talk to people on boatem. All this was not there, but it was very difficult to change the habit of, especially oldies, people with us, or people over a certain age. So adaptation is not that easy. So reinforcement of any change is very, very difficult in any aspect of the organization. Next, very important topic, the role of leader and management in change management. What do you think? What could be the role of a leader and managers in the change management? Obviously, they have to be visionary, they have to be facilitating, they should assist their people, they should facilitate their people, and that can only be done with the help of advanced preparation, clear communication, active listening. Obviously, without properly listening people, without asking them questions, without incorporating them as a part of change, and you can be a manager but you cannot be a good leader. Adaptation of change is possible only and only if people are engaged in that change. They are fair, they should be feeling, or they should be made to feel that they are the part of the change, they are the part, or they are the member of the entire action plan. A visionary leader, let's see what it is. What should be the role of a leader? A visionary leader ensures the vision become reality by stating clear goals, outlining a strategic plan for achieving those goals, and equipping and empowering each member to take action on the plan. Facilitating leader is just that, a competent facilitator who leads or manages a group's work to assist teams and individuals in solving challenges. A good facilitator is a person who is prepared in advance. He or she clearly communicates, asking questions, listening to their answer, their reactions, timekeeping, establishing a psychologically safe environment, and creating focus amongst the group. The role of the leader and a manager in change management. A manager and a leader should be a decision maker and should keep its approach agile. A team player is someone who actively contributes to group in order to complete the task, meet goals, or manage projects. Team players actively listen to their co-workers, respect ideas, and aim to produce or to improve the product or process at hand. The strategist role of a leader enables the leader to develop a long-term strategy and set targets to match the vision of the organization. A good communicator, as is very important to communicate, passionate about the role and work he does. This is a role of a good leader in a change management. He has to be a visionary. He should know what their people liking and disliking. He should communicate to their people. He should know the ground reality, what is going on. For knowing the ground reality, the approach should be agile. He should have a quick decision making skills, and obviously last and very important is team player. A person who is not a team player cannot survive these days in any organization, be it any change or in managing an organization. So you can be a good manager, but to become a good leader, flexibility in thoughts, words, and actions are required. I hope you have understood the role of leaders and managers in change management. types and styles of organizational change, the difference between planned and, so there can be two types of change, planned change and unplanned change. A change which is well thought through is a planned change, but sometimes because of some contingencies, so if you see the COVID-19 situation which came up, okay, that was unplanned change. So many people, so many companies, so many businesses, be it small, big, all have to change or transform their workplace from office to home. It was a great organizational change globally. So the difference was, it was unplanned, sudden change. So planned change is something you choose, such as implementing a new strategic direction. Unplanned change in an organization include unexpected developments such as new product, key executive quitting, or a public relations disaster, or a contingent or emergency event across the globe. Both unplanned and planned changes can be company-wide or small-scale. Whether a talented employee gives notice well in advance or dies unexpectedly, the loss is a change to which you must adapt. There are other ways that planned and unplanned changes resemble each other. Change is chaotic. Even if you carefully plan for change, the process may become chaotic once you put into action. As we saw in different models, obviously, things, people become depressed. People are not desired of making changes at the first. With the As the time progress, obviously they start accommodating those changes. Making one change at a time is not always an option. Change has to be managed, whether you are planning an incremental improvement or coping with an unanticipated. However, to deal with the change, you have to show commitment. Your employees will find it hard to support changes, planned or unplanned, if you are not leading the way. Remedial changes are reactionary. This type of change occurs when a problem is identified and a solution needs to be implemented. Incremental change is the concept that the programs and organizations develop over time by making small alteration, means small alteration finally converted into a bigger change in an organization. Transformational change is a type of organization change that completely reshapes your organization. Entire restructuring, change, diversification, all these come under transformational change. According to management experts Cummings and Worley, transformational change occurs in response to an anticipation of significant changes in organization, environment, or technology. Structural change involves major shift in the management hierarchy team, means organization structure is changing. The hierarchy of the organization is changing, means suppose the organization was flat organization before, now it is changed into functional or divisional or matrix organization. People centric organizational change. So all these are the types of changes. People centric, while all changes affect people, people centric types are new parental leave policies, means policies which is related to employees, process which is related to employees. These changes are people centric changes. Next topic in learning outcome A is change context. Initiate, what is change context? Means who all are involved, how the change happens. Initiators, top down, executive start the planning and management process. Bottom up, employee plan when they look at way of improving work processes, means top down or bottom up. Participants, top down, executives and management decide for organization with no participation from lower level employees. Bottom up, organization employees discuss and make decisions that affect the overall organization. Frequency, sometimes An organization executives meet at scheduled time to do the planning. Apart from those scheduled sessions, there are no further planning sessions. That is top-down frequency-wise. Employee can identify possible ways to enhance efficiencies or profitability every day. Scope, focus, communication. These 3x aspects, time, scope, capability, readiness, all are in the change context. Scope. Executives and management make high risk or high cost decision. Employees discuss and work together to implement small or low risk or low cost changes. So both of it is happening in every organization. These are in the context of change. Focus. This approach establishes organizations' larger goals, means focus is of top management, and in top-down approaches, we focus on bigger, larger goals of the organization. Whereas bottom-up, they are at the ground level, means people at the ground level. Goals components are first identified and before combining these to the overall goals. Communication. The top-down approach requires less communication, but bottom-up approach requires more communication. If you try to rush through the change process, you likely will not have given your employees enough time to understand. So it is very important to manage the time so that process can be, or the change can be adapted by the employee. Scope. Scope change management means you need to manage, control, and document all changes to your project scope. Capabilities. Change capability is the ability of organization to plan, design, and implement all types of changes efficiently with committed stakeholders, causing minimal negative impacts on the people and operations, so that desired business and cultural results from change are consistently achieved and integrated seamlessly. Means the company organization should plan, design, and execute as per their own capabilities. Readiness. Change readiness is the ability to continuously initiate and respond to the change. Means company as a whole is ready always to welcome any new change. Whenever change is there, impact can be high or low, but I am ready for the change. Diversity, change capacity, and culture. Especially through the periods of change, diversity provides the impetus to discover innovative solutions. People of diversity, people belonging to different countries, communities, men, women, all have their own set of mind. When agile people meet together from various diversified environments, they help a lot in conducting or bringing in new change, and the resistance to change also lowers down. Change capacity and capability is the same, the ability of organization to change, just not once, but normal response to changes in its environment. Culture, while it is resistant to change itself, culture can be a great enabler of organizational change. A good culture in an organization will always welcome a new change which is good for the organization. This is the end of learning outcome 1, learning outcome A, and thanks for coming to this session and be with me for Thanks for being with me for the entire learning outcome A. Thank you so much. Bye.